So guys, let's move on to the next question. In this question, we are given a sequence in which there are 15 terms, all right, A1 to A15, and uh, the term is equal to the previous term plus k. So an is equals to an minus 1 plus k. This means, for example, the fourth term will be equal to the third term plus some constant k, right? Where k is not equals to 0. So this is also very important, that k is not equals to 0, right? And we know that the eighth term, A8, means the eighth term is given as 10, okay? So now we have to compare the number of terms in the sequence A1 to A15. So the number of terms which are greater than 10, like whose value is greater than 10. So we have to find out how many terms are there whose value is greater than 10, and we have to compare that with 7. Okay, perfect. So let's move on. Firstly, 8 is equals to 10, right? And there are 15 terms. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So there are 15 terms, right? And we know that A8 is equals to 10. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Means this one has a value of 10, right? Okay, perfect. We also know that the an is equals to an minus 1 plus k, right? So we know that k is not equals to 0, right? That means that k can either be positive. If k is not equals to 0, then k can either be positive or k can either be negative, right? It can either be plus 1, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 0.1, whatever, positive, and or it can be k is equals to negative, right? Okay. Now, let's suppose if k is equals to positive, right? If k is equals to positive, that means the previous term plus k will be the next term, right? So, one thing is for sure, that an will be greater than an minus 1, right? If k is positive, if k is equals to positive or k is greater than 0, if k is positive or k is greater than 0, right, then an will be greater than an minus 1, right? I hope this should be clear. And if k is equals to negative or k is less than 0, right, that means an will be less than an minus 1, right? Because if k is negative, then we are subtracting something from this. For example, this is 8, so we subtract something, so this will become negative, right? Obviously, so an will become small if k is negative, right? So what I mean is that, let's suppose this is 10, right? So if k is positive, then an will be greater than an minus 1, right? Which means this term will be greater than 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 this, and so on. So that means 10 will be greater than this, right? Meaning this term will be greater than 10, right? This term will be greater than 10. Similarly, this term will be greater than this term will be greater than this term will be greater than this, and so on. So automatically, all these terms will be greater than 10, right? If k is positive, so that means automatically all the terms to the right of 10 will be greater than 10, right? That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means if k is equals to positive, so there are 7 terms greater than 10, right? Similarly, let's suppose if k is negative, right? If k is negative, that means this term will be smaller than this, or you can say this term is greater, right? Uh, for example, A2, right? So A2 will be less. So this term will be greater, this term will be smaller, this term will be smaller, even more smaller, this term will be even more smaller, because we are subtracting something, right? Because if k is negative, that means the next term will be smaller because we are subtracting basically. So this is the largest term, this is second largest, third largest, fourth largest, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth largest, then 10 comes. So basically that means all the terms over here will be greater than 10 on the left side, right? So all these terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these 7 terms will be greater than 10 if k is negative. That means there are 7 terms less than 10, right? So in either case, if k is positive, then also there are 7 terms which are greater than 10 this side. If k is negative, there are 7 terms which are greater than 10 on this side, right? Sorry, 7 terms greater than 10. So there are 7 terms greater than 10 if k is positive, and there are 7 terms greater than 10 if k is negative over here. So in either case, there are exactly 7 terms. So we were given in the question, we have to compare the number of terms greater than 10 and 7. So since 7 is the answer in both the cases, so the answer is C. I hope this is clear.